guys, what's up? And welcome back to another episode. I'm Yasmyn.
And I'm Madison.
And this is MYLFS Podcast.
Also known as Madison, Yasmyn, and Little Friends. So in today's episode, we're kind of going to be covering like girl talk vibes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like for the girls episode.
For
abortions, birth control, sex.
All the fun stuff.
Oh, yeah. Deep dives.
Yes.
Like usual.
So this episode's going to get a little bit juicy, a little bit graphic. So it's definitely not for the weak.
Yeah, and it's not for my family.
Yeah, or our families.
If you do watch it, just don't ever talk to me about it.
Yeah, same, please, thanks. I feel like I'm pretty open about all this stuff on all my other platforms, so nothing too new, nothing too unexpected for me, but...
I am not. I feel like this is where you really get to see, like, the true...
I know. Honestly, I've been thinking about how much I'm, like, ready to just, like, kind of go wild on our podcast.
I am too.
All the things that I, like, am a little bit more held back on. I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna say it all here.
This is, like,
feels like a secret safe space.
Exactly. I feel like I can just be open and say whatever the fuck I want to say.
Yeah.
And there's, like, my TikTok and, like, my Instagram is definitely more, like, innocent and filtered. And I don't know why. Like, everybody is going to see this, too. But it's just more...
For some reason, it feels, like, safer. Because, like, when we're recording it, we're just, like, here. And then we, like, post it later. We were editing one episode together, and we were going through it, realizing, like, oh, my God, like, we're going to post this? Like,
yeah, really? Someone like, people might hate us. People might love us.
Yeah. Little disclaimer, I guess, here. There are going to be some controversial things in this video. So...
open mind.
Yeah. Try to go into this with an open mind. Mm-hmm. Feel free to share your opinions down below if that's something you want to do.
Yeah, we want to hear, like, any feedback from you guys, whether it's good, whether it's bad. Like, if you agree, disagree, like...
yeah.
Tell us. We want to know. We want to hear your thoughts and opinions. Yeah. And that's what makes kind of like a podcast fun.
Exactly. But while also respecting our
and others'
opinions and others' opinions. So yeah, let's get into it.
First, we have the question of the week. This is from Lily Russell X. And her question was, what are our insecurities?
Okay, you start because I don't know,
like too much.
Which one do I pick?
I feel like for me, my biggest insecurity, and Logan has pointed this out as well, is just like, I'm not open enough with some people. Like, I'm more, I don't want to say shy, but like reserved with some people. And it takes me a really long time to get comfortable. But once I do, like, I feel like I'm like the true Madison.
Yes.
But it takes
and I've loved seeing that true Madison come out. Because
really?
when we've talked about this so many times in here, but when we first met, you were, like, a lot more shy.
Yeah.
And then, like, over time, like,
you
get to
know me. That's, like, one of my biggest insecurities because, like, I am so reserved that I'm, like, do people just think, like, I might not have the best personality because it takes me a little bit to, like, get to a certain point where I can be my true self. And I don't know why I'm like that. It's just, like, a comfort thing.
Honestly, it's not a terrible thing, though, to be more reserved because I feel like I'm a little bit the opposite and I'm just so out there. And, like, it definitely is, like... harder to like feel to open up and like let everyone in on you know everything. It's not a terrible thing to be more reserved.
No, but that's like my biggest insecurity because I'm like, I want people to know like the real me.
Yeah, but only the special people that deserve to know the real you.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good way to think of it. So yeah, that's like, but I'm working on it. Like I feel like actually since I've gotten to know you and like become friends with you, I've really like been more outgoing. Aww. So I feel like we're a good balance for each other.
Definitely.
So what is yours now that you had time to think about it?
Oh, okay. So I would say my biggest insecurity, like other than like physical insecurities, my biggest insecurity is honestly probably my upbringing. It sounds
like
weird.
Your family background?
Yes, my family background. Like
that makes me sad.
I feel like I've gotten more. Obviously, now I'm, like, way more open about it, but when I first meet people, I used to feel very, like, shameful about not having a dad, and my mom is, like, not really in my life and, like, an addict, so, like, I had a really weird upbringing, and I feel like that I'm sometimes insecure about that, because I feel like people will look at me, like, differently, like, see me as, like, a broken, like, messed up person, because I had, like, a broken, messed up childhood.
See, I think opposite. When someone, especially you, like, tell their upbringing, and it might be a little more rough or you know not like the normal standard, it makes me think of them differently in the way that I think that they are incredibly strong.
Yeah. Okay, well, that makes you feel good.
You know? Because look at you. You had that upbringing, and then look at you now, and look at how you're raising your kids.
Oh, well, thank you.
There's just like a different perspective on it.
I remember I had a conversation with one of my friend's moms that kind of like changed my perspective on all of that. And I don't know how it came up, but I like just met her and I was opening up to her about my mom and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I kind of thought that like you would just know, you would see me, talk to me a few times and just like know, oh, this girl has like a messed up past. And she was like, no, that is like you carrying shame around. That's not yours. Let go of that because it's not. So that kind of helped me a lot.
And plus, it's not your decisions. It's, you know, it was your family's, like those people in your life that made those choices, not you.
That's one of my biggest insecurities.
I have physical insecurities as well.
What would you say is your biggest physical insecurity?
Honestly, like just this is probably like normal, but like staying skinny or like, but then I'm like, but I want a big butt.
Yeah, see, that's what I go through every day in my head. I'm like, oh, I want to be skinny, but like if I'm skinny, I'm gonna have no boobs and no butt. So it's like, how do I pick?
Yeah, it's like a proportion thing. It's like I want to stay skinny, but I also want a butt. I also would like to have even boobs. Thank you, Switzer. With breastfeeding, I'm like one's bigger than the other right now. And then I don't know. So I have those, but I feel like that's very normal to have those physical insecurities, especially as a young woman. So one of my eyebrows was a little bit lower than the other, and it bothered the shit out of me.
Really?
Like, since I was little. I think it's because when I went to the nail salon the first time to get, like, my eyebrows done, I think they just did it wrong.
And it just stayed
like that. Naturally, this year I actually got Botox to, like, lift my eyebrow.
That's why?
Yeah, it was, like, weighing on me. I was like, I'm just gonna get it fixed.
Okay, I literally never would have noticed that.
Really?
No.
I did. That was mine, but I got it fixed to feel better about myself.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there isn't.
I got one of my physical insecurities, other than also, just, like, being skinny, was that I had no lips, and then I got lip filler, so.
There you go. I actually did that as minimal, well.
Yeah. But you already had lips.
I did. I just wanted a little more plump to, like, my Cupid's bow, so I also got lip filler in my Cupid's bow to make myself feel better, and I'm not shameful of it.
Yeah, no, I feel like there's no shame in getting stuff done to your body. I feel like some people are against it, but like I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I feel like I would never do anything major to like change my face or like anything, but I got a little lip filler and honestly, I might get a boob job. So
there's nothing wrong with that either.
I got a little lip filler though, but it was very, very minimal.
Yeah, I got 0.5 milliliters.
I got one like years ago, so that like definitely dissolved, and then I got one like almost a year ago, which also is probably kind of dissolved, but yeah.
I actually highly recommend if you can.
I do too. It's fun.
Fix something that you are like insecure about. Why not?
Exactly.
It's only gonna help your confidence.
Exactly. And it's like you don't feel like you have to. Like nobody has to follow all the silly little
beauty standards.
Yeah, but like if you want to,
go for it. And I'll always be open about it too. Like I'm never gonna be like that girl that like gets in and be like, oh no, this is naturally me.
Yeah. No. I would never lie, but when I got my lip filler the first time, I did not tell anyone because I was insecure about the fact that I did it. Because
like, see people judge you probably.
Yeah. But then nobody did, and people would comment like, "Did you get lip filler?" Logan didn't know for a year. Yeah, he didn't know for a year.
He didn't recognize like the difference.
No, but I don't know why. Like, because I feel like it was pretty obvious the first time.
You give him like.
Right, like you can feel it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, wouldn't there be a little more plump to
like, No, yeah, he didn't notice for a year until we were going through bank statements and he was like, what's this charge from a salon in Texas? And I was like,
well.
Yeah, and I told him.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was funny. It wasn't funny to Logan, but.
He was like, where's that money?
Strip club, yeah, that's what it was.
Speaking of, like, confidence, when you lack in confidence, it's a normal feeling to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody has it to feel a little insecure here.
Definitely, about, like, physically and just, like, yourself in general. Yeah. I feel like I go through phases all the time of being super confident in my body and just, like, myself in general. And then, yeah, I just kind of feel like I go, like, in and out of stages of being...
I do as well. Because, like, one day I might feel like, damn, I'm a bad bitch.
Yeah.
And then the next day I'm like, I'm a sad bitch. So it's, like, one or the other.
Yeah, seriously. And also, we'll, like, get into this in more detail, too. But I feel like depending on the stage of my cycle that I'm in...
Yeah.
Because I know you're not, like, on a regular cycle yet. For me, right before I start my period and I, like, am PMSing, I feel, like... shit, like
bloated kind of.
Yes, but also just mentally I'm just feel like I just have like a mental breakdown and I'm just like sensitive. Like Logan made a joke to me and the whole rest of the night I was like crying and I was like I don't know. Yeah, but it was just like one day a month, it's fine. And I usually know what's happening. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna start my period soon, and then I like.
Then you get it, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
no.
it's fine. It wasn't me. It was the PMS. Yeah.
Sure.
What do you do when you need that confidence boost? When you're feeling down about yourself? What? You hit up your Tinder boys?
Yes. This is so bad, but I'll seek attention to the guys that are like obviously like willing to give me that attention.
True.
I'll just look at myself naked in the mirror.
True. I feel like I'll have a little photo shoot by myself, you know?
Yeah, take some pictures.
I feel like a toxic thing about being on social media, especially like for me as my career, I've like done YouTube and social media stuff for like 4 years now, plus 4, maybe 5 years this year, I think.
That's crazy.
A lot of the times my confidence is based off of what people are saying about me, how many views I get and stuff like that. Which is terrible. And I'm like trying to remind myself that I cannot connect those things. Like I have to keep those things separate and make sure that I have confidence in myself separate from my social media.
I agree, because sometimes like obviously I don't have the bigger platform like you do, but like if one of my videos isn't doing good or if I'm not gaining enough followers or something, I'm like, damn, like what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
And I shouldn't do that. No one should, because it's literally social media.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably a huge problem these days. So a lot of girls definitely like base their self-worth off of that.
When I was in I guess it was like a year out of high school, I would also compare my body physically to others, like other influencer models. And
that too.
Stuff, and I would get like insecure. I'm like, man, I'm not skinny enough, and it actually caused me to have an eating disorder.
Really?
So, and I did get very, very skinny, not to like the point of like needing to be hospitalized or anything, but to the point where like my family and friends were like, "What are you doing? Like, what is wrong?" Like I remember I went to this one person's, our family friend's house, and she didn't see me for a while, like a couple months. And she just had a baby, and I went to go see him. And then she texted my mom after and was like, is Madison okay?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like that, I guess, noticeable of a difference from the time I saw her and then a couple months later. And then it like really struck me. I was like, what am I doing to myself?
Yeah. Once
like,
you get caught in a cycle, I feel like it's easy. Like when you see a difference, like when you stop eating as much and see a difference, then it's like almost addicting.
Works. It is, because you're like, man, if I keep doing this, like my arms will be skinnier or my waist is gonna look tinier. Like it's just something like that. Or I can be an extra small instead of a small. And I was never like, I was normal size, like an average size. So, but I still was like, I need to be skinnier. And I did get to that point. Yeah. And I would always lie. People were like, oh, you need to eat. I'm like, oh, I'm not hungry. Yeah. Like, oh, I ate before I came. Or
I've done that before too.
Or, you know what I mean? Just like those excuses. But in reality, I didn't eat. I survived off of like coffee and water. And I would literally, this is graphic, but like I would eat ramen noodles. And then I would chug a bottle of water. And then go to my room, like my bathroom, and stick my fingers down my throat and make myself throw up that way. And I would chug the water to make sure like everything came up.
Oh my God, Madison.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I'm good now.
How did you stop that? Like, how did you get out of that?
My mom.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she find out, or did you tell her?
She obviously noticed, and she was like, what are you doing to your body? Like, this is not healthy.
I have gone through periods where I tried to eat less, to be skinnier. With pregnancy and everything, I gain a lot of weight when I'm pregnant, and I definitely was so insecure about that. During my pregnancies, I was like, no, like, I don't want to get fat or, like, gain weight when I'm pregnant.
I was the same way.
Yeah, so then with Layla, I mean, I feel like after I had her and I realized your body does go back to normal, especially when you're young, I've heard. Like, I realized, like, okay, like, it's fine. I thought my body was like never gonna be the same and I was gonna like look terrible forever. Yeah, I feel like I gained a lot of respect for my body after pregnancy. My body did something so amazing, and it's like I need to not just worry about how my body looks. I grew a baby, gave birth to a baby, and I'm breastfeeding a baby. Like So
I was very similar, because once I like got over my eating disorder, like I still kind of like half-assed did it here and there, like I wouldn't eat or stuff like that, or
just try to eat a little bit less.
One day I wouldn't eat, the next day I would, you know what I mean, where it still like wasn't healthy. But then I got pregnant with Sawyer, and for me it was like I automatically stopped. Like it changed my mindset, because I was like, this isn't about me anymore. It's about my baby, and I need to make sure that I'm nourishing myself so then my baby's nourished.
Definitely.
And that really helped like me fully like kind of get over that and like have a better mindset as to being healthy.
Yeah.
Like healthy living.
Right.
Rather than
versus just being skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. When I got pregnant with Anna, my second, I was even more afraid of what a second pregnancy would do to my body, even though I realized after my first, I like eventually looked normal. Normal
the
again.
Standard.
Yeah. Then when I got pregnant with Anna, I think I was like the skinniest I'd ever been like after breastfeeding Layla, because breastfeeding really like
it
makes you
in.
it literally sucks the life out of you. So then when I got pregnant with her, I wasn't eating as much as I probably should have been at that time. So then when I got pregnant, I was like really skinny and I was sick because I wouldn't eat at the beginning of my pregnancy.
Yeah. So you're not hungry when you're sick.
I was like nauseous. So then, and I realized with my third, like you have to eat to not feel nauseous. I just wasn't eating at the beginning. And I think that made, like I was already pregnancy sick, and I think it just made it even worse to the point that I lost so much weight. I was like super underweight and unhealthy, and my family was like also super worried about me, and they brought me to the hospital. But eventually I got over it, and at the time I didn't think of it as like having an eating disorder. I thought I was like just pregnant sick. But then after like looking back, I kind of realized like before I was pregnant, I sort of had an eating disorder where I like wasn't eating as much as I should have been because I realized it was making me skinnier.
Just,
and
like,
then
going into pregnancy.
Yeah, so I feel like I kind of brought that upon myself a little bit, like the really bad sickness in my second pregnancy, because I like...
It didn't help, too, that you were already pregnancy sick, so it's kind of like
it was just like double whammy. When we'll talk about eating disorder kind of stuff, like with, and just like body dysmorphia with like people our age, like my friends, like I can like joke about it and like be like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna be skinny because I like didn't, like I'll be like, oh I didn't eat lunch. My friends will be like, oh skinny queen, like just like as like a joke, and it's funny to like joke about with people our age. But then my little sister will like say something like about her body, and it makes you actually scared. Breaks my heart, and I'm like, oh my god. She'll like, I was on the phone with her last night and she was like scrolling on like Instagram or whatever, and she like saw, and she was like, oh this girl's so pretty, I want to look like her. I was like, no, you want to look like you because you're gorgeous. And I just remember like that time, that age is so hard. I feel like that was like my worst, like middle school and early high schools like are really hard.
Mine was for sure, honestly, like high school, and also when I was out of high school.
Really?
Yeah.
It was when you were like least confident? Really? Like
wanting to be different, wanting to look better.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a hard stage of like you're going through so many physical changes that it's like you don't recognize yourself half the time, so it's like
But I swear, like being pregnant, like you said, it gives you a whole different perspective of, I don't know, just awareness and respect for your body. Yeah. Where now thinking that like I would never do what I did to myself, because I'm like, first off, I wouldn't want Sawyer to do that.
I was going to say that. I would hate if my kids ever, like, were doing that to themselves.
And I just couldn't imagine. Women's bodies are amazing.
I know.
They are incredible. Yeah. So the fact that I was harming my health makes me sad to think about.
I know. I feel like I've gotten to a much better balance about it, too, of just, like, eating healthier. Instead of eating less, just eating healthier.
Yeah, you have to change your mindset. Like, good portions, fueling your body.
I feel like now I also, like, really feel it, because I feel like I'm so busy all the time that if I, like, don't eat and I'm not eating good things, like I feel like my body like is craving it. I'm like, I need good food in me to function today.
Especially like with breastfeeding, you have to eat or else you just feel like dead, drained. Breastfeeding takes up so much energy. It burns so many calories. Calories. I feel like also girls getting on, at least in my experience, birth control, it makes you gain weight most of the time. And I was on birth control in high school, and I think this is when like the start of like my like wanting to be skinnier is because I gained weight on birth control. I was like, that too. What is going on?
What kind of birth control did you start on?
The first thing that I was on was the birth control pills in like middle school. And then not because I was sexually active, because I had bad periods. And then the second one that I got on, because I didn't take those very well. Then I was on the Depo shot, the Depo Provera shot.
You did the Depo shot?
I would not recommend it.
My mom used to make jokes whenever I would like be joking about boys when I was like in middle school. She'd be like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to like shoot you with Depo in your sleep. And I was like, what are you talking about?
No. It was like an every 3 months shot that you would get. Mine like completely stopped my periods.
Wait, only every 3 months? So it stays in your body for that long?
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
But I gained like 30 pounds.
Oh my god. Okay, I started on the pill and I gained a lot of weight too.
And it's like quick because you're like, what? Like, in your body changes. Like, you gain weight, but your body changes. And I was very taken back by it because I wasn't expecting it.
And you're so young.
Yes.
I feel like it gives you a very, like, mature, like, womanly body when you're super young. I feel like I've noticed that in people.
Like, boobs.
Yeah. Very I used to be really excited about that when I was younger. Be like, maybe if I get on birth control, I'll get boobs, like, right away.
Mine weren't, like, I thought I was going to get some, like, good, like, good ones, but they weren't like what I was expecting. I more got like just.
What, they were just like swollen?
Yeah, they just didn't like. I wouldn't like porn star boobs, but I never got them.
You know what the best boobs are the right after you give birth and your milk comes in boobs.
Oh my gosh, those
are
so
like porn
good.
star boobs.
Those are amazing.
That's what I'm gonna show the plastic surgeon when he's like, "What do you want?" And be like,
"This is what I want."
full
Because they're
of
just
milk
like
boobs.
they're already like defined too because all your milk is just like sitting there. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
If I could only have this every day of my life.
Yep. That's what I'm gonna tell him. What do I say I want? Like,
and
just
it's
big
natural
boobs?
because it's like proportioned to your body.
Yeah. Just gotta find a good picture of.
Were you on any other like birth control or anything?
Oh yeah. We got so sidetracked on boobs. Yeah, so I started on the pill when I was in my freshman year, and I was on it for like maybe a year, not even yeah. And then I stopped taking that because I like was no longer with the guy that I've been dating for like a long time, because that's like why I got on it. And then I wasn't on it for a while. That's how I got pregnant with Layla. Then after I had Layla, I was like, okay, I need to get something, but I didn't want to take a pill. And I wanted something that was like non-hormonal. And so I got an IUD, but I didn't get the copper IUD, which is actually the only like non-hormonal one. I got the Mirena, which is hormonal, but like my doctors told me like, oh, it's just like the hormones just stay in your uterus. So, like, it doesn't affect like the rest of your body, which is what they told me. Which is like there's
an IUD is very painful to
get.
Oh
yeah, they literally clamp open your freaking cervix and put it in there. It's honestly like worse than giving birth. Not actually, but it's not comfortable.
It scares me. That's why I will never do it.
Yeah. So I got that. And then a few months after that, like I was dating Logan at the time. So that's why like I got on it, because I was like, oh, I can't have another baby yet. And then after we'd been dating for a little bit, like right before we moved in together, we were kind of got to a point where we were like serious about each other. And I didn't want to be on birth control anymore. So I was like, whatever happens, happens. And it made me bleed like every day.
Really?
Yes, it would literally make me bleed every day, and for like months, and I was just like, this sucks. Like, why would I do this to myself?
Yeah.
So, and obviously birth control is important if you like don't want to get pregnant. And I mean, there are ways to like naturally family plan, which is what I'm doing right now.
My plan. Like, yeah, I'm not going to get back on birth control ever.
Yeah.
I didn't like how it made my body feel. Like, the way it made me gain weight, like, unhealthily. The way it also, like, makes you feel, like, mentally.
Off, yes.
It just, like, makes you feel weird.
Yeah, that's the thing is I love being on a natural, trackable cycle and just, like, having my natural hormones be stable, which is, like, that's always just what I've wanted, just to be on a natural cycle, and I love it right now.
I'm getting mine back after Sawyer, like, finally, and 2 months in a row I've gotten it.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
So like
Yay, Madison.
We might be getting on a regular cycle finally.
You're welcome. It's probably because I'm regulating.
We're syncing.
Yeah. So I won't get back on it. Yeah. I just hate the idea of the unnatural hormones like controlling and regulating your body, but not to knock birth control for other people, because obviously it's important for other people out there,
especially if you have like PCOS or endometriosis.
Yeah. But personally, I won't get back on birth control. Logan and I have talked about him getting a vasectomy. Doctors wouldn't do it for him because he's just turned 21. So before he turned 21, they wouldn't do it. Tracking your cycle and like just being careful all the time is like stressful, and I don't want to hurt our sex life. But
you want to be a little more careless.
Yeah, exactly.
If girls want to like not have any more babies, usually they have to get their tubes tied.
Right.
Or wait until like menopause, which is a whole like procedure. Like you have to go under to like get it done.
Yeah.
And guys, it's like a snip, which girls also have side effects from their tubes being tied. So I'm like,
that's true. The guys should take one for the team.
I think, especially with like us, usually women are on birth control for a good amount of time. Yeah. Depending. So I'm like, you know, when you're done having kids and like, I feel like the guy should just take one for the team and be like, okay, I'll do this for you because you did everything else.
Vasectomies are also reversible. So then if you change your mind, so like if Logan got one and we wanted more kids after, it's like, and the success rate for that is like pretty high, I think. So I actually got an IUD twice. I
remember your YouTube videos.
Yeah, there's so many YouTube videos with IUD in the title. Logan actually removed it for me. Don't recommend that, obviously. Logan's not a doctor. I do call him Dr. Logan sometimes.
Dr. Dominic.
But
I can see you now in your little nurse outfit. Dr. Dominic, come take my IUDs so you can come have a baby with me. Yeah, so Logan removed my IUD, and then I immediately got pregnant with Anna. After I had
Analia. Then again, I was like, okay, like we're done. So then eventually I got an IUD. Again, hated it because I just bled every day. Hated how it made me feel. We moved to Hawaii, and then while we were in Hawaii, I think Anna was like 6 months oldish, a little bit more. I was like, yeah, take it out again. So
did it hurt when you took it out?
No, it doesn't hurt because it's in there, and then a string hangs out of your cervix. So, like, not all the way out of your body, but just out of your cervix. So like,
he just had to, like, find the string.
Yeah, and he actually would say, like, when we would have sex, like, he could, like, feel the string.
Interesting.
Which is really weird. So, yeah, second IUD removed, and then I haven't been on birth control since. I feel like my methods of natural birth control are just tracking my cycle. So, I know when I'm ovulating, and also, from tracking it, and also by the things I know when I'm ovulating.
Like your discharge.
Yes.
Every time I think I think about Colby.
I know, I said that word in front of Colby, and he was like, what? He's like, don't ever say that word again. But yeah, I always know when I'm ovulating, pretty much. We kind of just try to avoid having sex, like, when I'm ovulating. And then also, like, we'll use condoms.
I feel like that's my plan when I have more of a regular sexual partner.
Yeah.
It's just, like, natural
family
planning. And honestly, like, because I don't have, like, the most regular cycle yet, I'm hoping that'll change. But just, like, taking pregnancy tests on the regular.
That's a great form of birth control, Madison. Just kidding.
Like, that's honestly my plan. Just, like, get the little strips and be like, okay, not pregnant, next.
Oh, yeah, sure. There's, like, ovulation predictor things.
That seems like a good idea, too, instead of just taking pregnancy tests.
Yeah.
I'll be better about it.
And there's also this one other thing I would do, which I just, like, I don't know, like, if there's really studies on this and how real it really is, but there's, like, some other, like, natural things you can take to, like, help, I guess, like, prevent pregnancy. So I would drink carrot seed oil, wild carrot seed oil or something. I would put it in my water because it's supposedly help you, like, not get pregnant as easily. I don't know exactly what it does or how.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't really know how real that is. I just, like, heard it somewhere.
It's like a little,
like, old wives' tale.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I've never heard that, but I'm sure there is, like, something like that.
Yeah.
It's more, like, homeopathic.
Exactly. I don't know how reliable the source was, but I just remember, like, looking into it a little when I was in Hawaii because I was trying to, like, find more natural methods. So I would put that in my water.
Like an herb or something.
Yeah. And honestly, I didn't get pregnant. Like, we were, like, obviously trying to be careful, too, but I didn't get pregnant. And then I stopped taking it when we moved back, and then I got pregnant. So I'm like, maybe it really did help.
Yeah, maybe.
So
it's actually good to know that it didn't make you infertile, too.
Exactly. True. I want to do more deep research on, like, other natural things. So that's what I'm going with now is just tracking my cycle, looking up these natural methods, using condoms.
Yeah. I feel like also, like, when I do have more, like, a partner that's, like, more, you know, stable.
Yeah.
I would also take their, like, opinion on what they would want me to do as well.
Yeah.
Like, not on, like, getting on birth control, but, like, if there's something that they would like to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, get their opinion on it because I don't want them to just be, like, I don't know, uncomfortable.
Yeah, true.
Like, I would want to make sure we're on the same terms of making sure, like, we're preventing it.
Yeah, that's good because then I feel like there's times where I've, like, heard of stories of, you know, like, people getting pregnant without it being planned, like, when they're younger, and then the guy would, like, blame it on the girl. If I were to get pregnant right now, like, I would probably end up getting an abortion. I've always, like, said I don't think abortion should be, like, used as a form of birth control. I kind of know my limits.
Yeah. And you have 3 kids.
Yeah.
Under the age of 4.
Yeah. So, like, if I were to get pregnant right now, I probably would get an abortion. Obviously, I'm taking a lot of precautions to not get pregnant without getting on hormonal birth control. And obviously, we want Logan to get a vasectomy eventually,
like, you're being responsible.
Exactly.
It's not like you're being careless.
Yeah. But if for some reason something happened, I think I would get an abortion, which would be awful. Like, I would not want to have to do that. Once it came down to it, I don't know, like, if I found out, like, maybe then I would be like, no, I can't. But, like, I think that I would. I don't know. I couldn't do it to myself, my body again, my kids. Like, I feel like I would be so drained, and that would push me over the edge.
At least you know, like, your limitations and, you know, what would be best for you.
Yeah.
What is, like, your stance on it in general?
I mean, I think just in general, I think it's just, I mean, I'm just 100% pro-choice, and I don't care what anyone else does with their body. Like, and honestly, I just don't understand why anyone else cares what anybody else does with their body.
Yeah.
And I get that it's, like, a spiritual and, like, a religious, like, thing, and I even feel that way. Like, I am a little bit, like, religious and spiritual, and I, like, totally think, like, yeah, like, okay, this is getting a little bit intense about it, but, like, yeah, I think, like, those babies, like, are people.
I do too.
Yeah. But at the same time, it is not anyone's responsibility to be, like, pushing your religious or spiritual beliefs on other people. You have no clue what their situation's like. Nobody wants to get an abortion. That is a last resort for people, like, at their lowest, I think, for a lot of people. And I think that, you know, like, nobody wants to have to do that. And, like, their situation, a lot of times, is probably pretty extreme if they have to make that decision, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of agree. I feel like my stance is, I feel like I'm very neutral. I'm, like, pro-choice and pro-life. So there's, like, I'm not one or the other, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like this topic is not black or white. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much
It's
gray
true.
in the middle. For my own personal opinion, I would be more, I've explained this a little bit on my Instagram as well, is that I am pro-choice with, like, limitations. I think it should be used, like, if it's, like, medically needed, or an ectopic pregnancy for, like, IVF reasons, where sometimes they implant, like, 4 different eggs and have 4 babies, but they have to get rid of one to complete, like, a healthy pregnancy. Miscarriages, where you have to actually take the baby out, you know, or if it's, like, harmful to the mom, like, she's gonna die, or the baby is just not going to live.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Definitely, yeah.
So I feel like with those, like, circumstances, and I'm sure there's more circumstances as well, those are just the ones that I'm knowledgeable of, is that where I could see, like, aborting.
Yeah, being the best option.
Yes, being the best option. But I also, like, for myself, I would never get an abortion. Mm-hmm. But I also, for other people, like, I'm not going to judge you.
Exactly.
Like,
That's
it is your body and it
right.
is your choice. Like, those are my beliefs for me. Mm-hmm. But, like, if it is your body, like, I'm not going to tell you what you can do with your body, and it's not my life.
Yeah, same. That's how, like, and whenever people come to me, because I feel like I get a lot of messages from people that have, like, just found out they're pregnant, just, like, throughout my career on YouTube sharing about my teen pregnancy. I've had so many people come to me and be like, what do I do? Mm-hmm. And my, like, first thing that I always say is, like, it's your choice, like, what you do. Don't let anybody else, like, decide for you. Like, you have to be the one, like, not your partner, not your parents. Like, no one else can be the one.
It's only your choice.
Yes.
Because it is your body.
Yeah. And I always, like, push on the side of, like, do whatever you have to do, but, like, know that pretty much no matter what your circumstances are, like, you are capable of having your baby. Mm-hmm. Because, like, you are. Like,
your mother instincts kick in.
Exactly. And, like, I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's people out there in, like, really terrible, like, home situations and stuff where, like, their life really could be on the line. Like,
and I feel like also, like, depending on your situation, like, it could be the best option for you, but that's, again, like, it's not my place to tell you.
Exactly. So, but I do always, like, make sure people know, like, you are capable of doing this, like, if you want to do it. Because I think a lot of people think, like, when I was 16, if it wasn't for my aunt, like, I probably would never have had Layla, because I, like, just thought it was not an option for me to have a baby when I was 16. Mm-hmm. And, like, thank God my aunt was there, like, to
support me.
Yeah, to support me and tell me, like, you can do this. Mm-hmm. Like, and I'm so glad that I did. Like,
I think there is a big difference to, like, agreeing and supporting
someone's viewpoint.
Yes. So, like, with you, we both have, like
sort of different.
Like, I'm more neutral, you're one stance. Mm-hmm. And, like, I will support you.
Yeah.
Like, with you saying with your next, if you do get pregnant, like, what you would do. Would I agree with it? Not for myself.
Yeah.
But would I support you? Absolutely. Like, 100%. I would be there. If you wanted me to come with you, I would go with you. Like,
thank you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like you can still support someone even if you don't
agree
100% agree with their views.
And that's what Jesus would do. He would be there ready to hold my hand after.
I just feel like you have to have an understanding too for somebody else's viewpoint. Like, respect them and understand where they're coming from, because you would want the same for your viewpoint.
Yeah. But that's why I also feel like your stance on it, like, being, like, having, like, morals for yourself about it, respecting other people's, is pro-choice. Like, or I guess, like, you're in between.
Exactly. Like, it is pro-choice, but, like, it just...
Yeah. Which is where people are, like, on the far other side, like, want to stop, like, other people from doing it. Which is where, like, I respect your view on it, to, like, be able to have your own, like, opinion on it, but, like, not want to control other people's bodies.
Absolutely not. Like, like, again, pro-choice, your body, your choice.
Yeah.
But, like, for my body, I just wouldn't do that.
Yeah. But and same with me. That's why I had Layla, because I was like, I couldn't do that.
I think there's also a judgment. Like, obviously, we both got pregnant young. Mm-hmm. But there's judgment around that.
Yes.
And I found this quote. I actually came across on TikTok. And I was like, oh, we need this for the podcast, because it just goes into like the judgment of a young mom. And it says a girl can be 21 with 2 kids, while another one can be 18 with 3 abortions. But society will judge the 21-year-old because her decisions are visible.
That totally
Isn't
makes
that
sense.
like a different perspective?
Yeah, it's almost like we just can't win.
Yeah, so like
it's like, okay, I had my baby, so it's like half of like, if I got an abortion, like this side would all be like mad about it, but then I had my baby, so everyone's like, why would you have babies young?
Exactly. So it's kind of like you can never, as like a young mom, it's hard to win in either side.
Exactly. So you just kind of have to be confident in your own decisions and viewpoints. Like you just have to stick with it, which is what I did. I guess, like, with having Layla, I was, like, so nervous about judgment, and I just was like, you know what, I made this decision, and I'm just gonna, like, I have to own it. And I realized, like, as soon as I went out in public, when I was 17 years old and I had a newborn baby, everyone was staring. Everyone was, like, turning their heads, like, breaking their necks to see, like, this little kid with a baby. Everyone was like, oh, my God. And I was like, wow, this is gonna be, like, my life for probably a long time. And it honestly hasn't changed.
Yeah.
I just had to get used to it.
I mean, I was 19 when I was pregnant, but I would get stares because I guess I also looked young. So they're not going to be like, oh, you're 19. But I look like a teenager.
Yeah.
And, like, people would just be like, look. And okay, so obviously this is video, but if you're just listening, they would literally turn their body, and the first thing that they would stare at is your belly.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't stare at you. It'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like,
I would try to hide it when I was in public, like with Layla. Like I would just try to wear big hoodies and stuff because I was so embarrassed.
If you did get an abortion,
nobody would know when they see you, but if they know,
yeah, but if they knew, people would judge you. So speaking of like being young, when did you get your first period?
Okay, I think it was the summer right before 8th grade.
Really?
Yeah, what was yours?
Mine was literally 5th grade.
What? Okay, this is so weird, but I used to be so embarrassed of the fact that I didn't get my period until 8th grade.
I was embarrassed of the fact that I got mine so early.
We can just never win, can we?
No.
In middle school, my friend, like, got hers, and I would always, like, be so scared that, like, boys were gonna think I was, like, weird because I didn't, like, get my period yet.
Really? I was literally the exact opposite. I was, like, the first one out of anybody I knew that got it. And I was like, what the heck? Like, how do I handle this? I couldn't have anyone to talk to about it because no one else...
That's stressful.
Was going through it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, people are going to think I'm so weird.
Honestly,
like, I had to wear a tampon and a pad. And like, I can't do this.
Periods for me were so easy up until after Analia.
Periods for me are just incredibly hard.
Really?
I actually
like, always were?
Always were. I actually missed school.
Really?
A lot because some of my like period symptoms where I literally felt like I was dead. Like I would lose so much blood because I have really heavy periods. But I also would like get sick sometimes. It would just make me sick.
Yeah, I get like nauseous at certain points in my cycle sometimes. Mine were so easy. So I really was like, what are people complaining about? Like everyone's so dramatic in it. But I just like, I didn't get cramps. I didn't like bleed super heavily. Really? After 3 kids, I feel like I like lose an abnormal amount of blood.
Okay, same now. Like after having Sawyer, I'm like, I thought it was bad before, but I'm like...
Yeah, it just gets worse. First, I only wanted to wear tampons. I hated wearing pads because...
I was opposite. We have the exact opposite. I would only wear pads because I was in 5th grade, too.
Yeah,
so, like,
true.
I was scared to death.
Yeah. No, that is
I was
scary.
like, what? You have to stick something up something? Like, what?
Yeah, no. But learning to do that was, like, really traumatic, I feel
yes,
like.
it was. It was very interesting.
Yeah. But I hated wearing pads because it just, like, felt uncomfortable. Now I will not wear tampons, like, unless I have to. But I, like, hate it. I actually, like, I feel like not a lot of people do this, but I actually have, like, period underwear.
I only do tampons now. I will not do pads. I will not.
Really? I feel like it gives me cramps when I wear tampons. I like can't unless I have to. And like sometimes I will if I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I try to avoid it. Like, I also try to like plan around it. So I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna be on my period this week. I'm gonna like try to not make a lot of plans. So I'll just like be at home and like
comfy, cozy.
Yeah.
I get scared because I'm like, whenever I go out, I'm like,
oh, your period leaking. I feel like everyone's just scared of that 24/7. Like that's always on my mind. I'm like, what if it just randomly starts? Like
yes, because I don't know when mine's coming. So it's like, am I going to bleed through?
Have you ever bled through?
Oh, 100 times.
Really?
So many times.
I have a couple times.
The worst time was I was in 8th grade and it was my birthday.
No.
It was my birthday. And I had jeans on and I was in computer class and I like felt like some warmth down there. And I was like, oh no, not today. Like, not my birthday. And yeah, I bled through. But luckily, I was with this girl, and she had a sweatshirt.
Yes, you just tied it around your waist.
So, and it was like the end of the day, thank God.
Oh, that's good.
But I was like, can I just like take it home and like wash it for you and bring it back? And she's like, yeah. I was like, nice. Oh, thank you so much.
It was my first period after having Analia, and I was on a plane with Logan and Colby wearing white jeans and had my 2 babies with me. And I literally like felt it happen, and I was like, there is no way this is happening right now. And literally on a plane, I bled through my white jeans like with Logan, Colby, and my 2 babies. I was like, wow, this is like a nightmare.
It's like so embarrassing, but it really shouldn't be. Like, yeah, it happens to everybody. I feel like we should be
able to just like bleed out whenever we feel like it.
People do that.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I remember this yoga video where she just naturally bleeds, and she had white yoga thing.
And just like lets herself bleed out.
Yeah, just lets herself bleed out.
Interesting.
Like, I could not. I feel like when you bleed out, like, I would feel so weird, like, and dirty.
Yeah, true. But honestly, like, imagine, I don't know, like, if I could, like, in a perfect world, I would just, like, go to the beach and just, like, sit in the ocean for my whole period if I could.
You would get eaten by a shark.
Period sex? Have you ever had period sex?
I have. It was actually... Same. Jesus Christ.
What, was it good?
It was my most recent.
Madison, you dirty whore.
Like, I know.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I feel like it's actually...
It was fine. And he was like...
It's lubricated, you know?
Yeah, it was, I'm sure. But, like, he was, like, completely fine about it. Like...
I feel like that's a green flag.
It really is. We don't talk anymore, but, like, still, that was, like, really green flag. Because I was like, I don't know about this. But, like, it was... Yeah.
I feel like it's really attractive when guys are very, like, normal about it. Like, instead of, like, ew, like, get away from me.
He was, like, more reassuring, like, oh,
Colby, like, ew, don't ever say discharge in front of me again. Okay.
He was so, like, confident and, like, comfortable with it and, like, made me feel comfortable with it.
That's awesome.
So, good for him.
Yeah, seriously.
Good for me.
Yeah, good for you.
So, this is, like, a Madison fun fact, but, like, I told you, like, I was, like, scared of tampons. Mm-hmm. I actually had sex before I put a tampon in.
Oh, you scared the shit out of me because you said you started your period in 5th grade, and I was like, what? That actually scared me. Anyway.
It took me, like, that long.
To use tampons?
Yes.
That's so funny. I don't remember when I first used a tampon, but I know it was traumatic. No, that makes sense because the tampon feels unnatural.
It does. A dick feels so much better.
Yeah. I remember in middle school, guys would ask, like, does it feel good? Like, when you put tampons in? Like, is it like having sex? And I was like, what the fuck?
It feels like nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my fun fact of the day.
Oh, I love that.
Me too.
Now that you're talking about it, how old were you?
I was 15.
I was also 15. Wait.
Twins.
Wait, actually, I think I was 14. Almost 15. It was high school. 14 sounds so much younger than 15.
I know it does. But it's high school. Yeah. I mean, I was 15, so...
Also, I was, like, not that it changes much, but, like, I was, like, dating a guy. And we'd been dating for, like, a month, and we were, like, starting to get serious. And then we, like, did it, and then we dated for, like, a while. So it wasn't, like, a random hookup when I was 14.
Man, this is sad.
What?
Okay, so I was not... The first time I had sex, it was February 13th.
Oh, Valentine's Day almost.
Almost. And we weren't dating yet. Mm-hmm. Then we had sex. And he went home and texted me if I wanted to be his girlfriend.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
I know, but wait for it.
Why not while you guys were hooking up? Like, that's so lame.
Right? But so, my next relationship, it was, I don't even remember the date. It was in October. Had sex with him for the first time. We weren't dating yet. Mm-hmm. And then later that night, he asked me. It was always after.
Same thing?
Yes.
Wow, you have, like, a magical vagina.
That's not how I was thinking. It's like, I can't keep doing this to myself. Like, I should probably be dating somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but it's just, like, both of those relationships didn't work out.
They had sex with you, and then immediately were like, oh, you need to be my girlfriend. So that didn't, like, boost your confidence a little bit? You were like, wow.
I was like,
I must have been good.
I was like, this is traumatic. It happens again.
I feel like being in a long-term relationship, like, the sex just gets, like, better and better and better and better.
That's good, and that's healthy.
Yes.
Because sometimes people will get burnt out.
Right.
So
yeah,
if you're just, like, adding in new things and, like, being, like, frequent.
Yeah. You were going to say a freak.
Or, well, I mean.
That too, yes. Yeah, no, but I feel like you just, like, get to know each other's things more and more, so like the sex just gets like better and better and better.
No, I agree. I feel like once you're really comfortable with somebody and it's like, you know what they like, they know what you like, it just endless.
Exactly. Sorry, I'm ovulating, so I'm just horny, but okay.
Dr. Dominic.
We have a situation. Okay, guys, to end this episode, we thought we would like end it in the most spicy, sexy way possible.
Of course.
With spicy questions.
A sex game segment coming to you by your two MYLFs.
Your two favorite MYLFs.
Our first question is, does size matter? For the guy, obviously, like the guys.
I think no, because like just like I think no. I think it's everyone says it's about the motion of the ocean. I think that's definitely true.
I would actually have to agree. I feel like if you know what you're doing, then you know what you're doing.
Exactly. But like, oh god, I guess I don't want to get like too graphic here.
We might as well. Yeah. It's the podcast.
Like, I feel like for me, like I enjoy things other than just no, I don't want to say it.
No, wait. No, I completely agree. I feel like they're, instead of just like fucking.
Yeah, like sometimes, like honestly, like I like head better than like having sex sometimes.
Oh, 100%.
So then it's like size obviously doesn't matter.
I like it both. Like leading up.
Yeah, I feel like foreplay is so important.
It is. You can't just like
all
go
girls,
right into it.
I feel like a lot of guys are just like straight to the point, but
no, I feel like foreplay is a necessity.
Yes.
The largest age gap between you and any partner.
I think, this is like kind of weird, but I was 16, I was a sophomore, and I was hooking up with, I think, either a freshman or a sophomore in college. Okay. So that was like 4 or 5 years, which is like illegal, but I don't know if it is, but.
I was 15. He was 18. Have you ever faked an orgasm?
Yeah, I have.
I have too.
Just to like.
Be done.
Because I feel like guys, a lot of times like in hookups and stuff, guys are like trying so hard to make you finish, and then it makes like puts more pressure on you, and then it's like harder to, and then it's just like, okay, like I don't even want to do this.
No, I agree. Plus, like I feel like sometimes if you're just like having sex just to like get it done with for like somebody else,
right,
and you're just like really not in the mood.
Mm-hmm. But honestly, like, good for the guys who like still keep trying to like make you finish after, because some guys like when they're done, they're just done. Mm-hmm. That can be frustrating.
It can be. Riskiest place you've ever done it?
On a public beach.
Interesting.
At night.
That's on my list.
Oh, it's so fun.
It's definitely on my list, and it was gonna happen, but then it didn't. Mine was a duck blind.
What did you say?
A duck blind.
What the hell?
It's like when. It's like a country thing, I guess.
Is that a duck hunting thing?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I know.
You dirty country girl.
I'm not even country. Have you ever cheated?
No.
I haven't either.
I broke up with Layla's dad and then hooked up with someone right after. And he was always like, you cheated on me. And I was like, I told you we were done. You just like wouldn't leave me alone.
Wouldn't accept it.
But yeah, he says I cheated on him, but I didn't.
Silly goose.
So silly. We have some other questions written down. We haven't seen these yet. When you're having sex, do you prefer lights on or off?
Like halfway.
Yeah, dimmed.
Dimmed is
honestly,
best.
I would prefer like off, because I feel like I don't know. I still get like self-conscious. Like I have to keep my eyes closed sometimes because I like get embarrassed. I don't know.
No, I understand that. Like I don't know if I would go fully lights on. Like
yeah,
I just think
like in porn when it's like studio lights, I'm like that is like disgusting. I could never like.
No, I feel like I need more like a dimmed light, but then I also like lights on, like halfway on.
Yeah, you want to see a little bit
because I want to see him.
Yeah, true. Morning sex versus evening sex. I feel like I like evening, but I feel like me and Logan have the best sex like during the day. Like kids are napping and we're like get a quickie in, and it's like.
I would say like. Late night sex.
True. Middle of the night sex.
Yeah.
All of it. All sex. Anytime.
All day. Every day. I feel like honestly,
we sound like sluts.
Nobody said we might be.
Yeah, no one said we weren't.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not.
Okay, do you think you're a good kisser?
I would say
Let's
yes.
find out.
Wait, New Year's Eve.
What?
New Year's Eve. You kissed me. We have a picture.
Oh, yeah.
Am I a good kisser?
You were a great kisser.
Thanks.
I don't remember. Skinny dipping. Love it.
I love it. I've only done it maybe twice.
That's like, I've been, every summer, like, that's like always like my go-to. Like, whenever we go out to like the bars by the beach, like, skinny dipping.
Skinny dip.
Yeah, that's so fun. I
would
love
be
it.
down.
Let's do it. How attractive do you think you are? 1 to 100.
So like 110.
Okay, sure, yeah, 1 to 10.
I would say a good 6.
Girl!
Girl.
You think you're a 6?
Yeah.
Madison.
Why wouldn't I be?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm a 6.
You are not a 6. I would say you're like a 9.
Oh, thanks. I'm still gonna take a 6.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll say I could be a 10 on my best days, but like on my worst I could be like a 6. But you are not 6. Okay, first kiss stories. Oh my god. Okay, wait, I love mine. So when I was in literally elementary school, I had this boyfriend in California when I lived there, and I like moved away after we started dating back here. Literally I was in 4th grade. And then I came back to visit, and we had like planned like, oh, like we should have our first kiss like when I come back.
Aww.
And it was after school because I like went back to visit my old school. And after school, we walked up to the top of this hill, and it was like sunset, and our whole school like came to watch. And I was so nervous. I was like shaking, freaking out, and we just kissed, and it was like really uncomfortable. And then I ran away.
Oh my gosh.
But it was so romantic.
That's
and
so cute.
Yep.
Mine is like kind of boring.
What?
He just came up to my house and he just kissed me.
Oh, lame.
I know. That was literally it.
Was it a good kiss?
I can't remember, so probably not.
Okay. Drunk versus sober hookups.
Oh, drunk.
Yes, but also like I feel like I just in high school and just like I just had so many like drunk hookups that I regretted.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm gonna say drunk hookups are a no-go. Like it's just not worth it unless it's like I don't know. It can be good, but just for me,
like, maybe not like drunk, but what I'm thinking is like for me is more
True.
like a good buzz.
True, yeah. I
like
guess
you just a
yeah.
little more like
okay.
comfort.
Actually, yeah. I feel like I have me and Logan like if we just drink alone and like have sex, it's like kind of great.
Yeah.
True. Okay. Have you been walked in on? Wait. Oh, Logan and I thought we were gonna be home alone for I don't think the kids were there. Yeah, the kids weren't there for whatever reason, and it was like just me and Logan at home, and we're like, oh my god, like let's like have sex on the couch because like no one's here, and Colby wasn't here, and he wasn't supposed to be there all day, and he got cut off of work early, so we are literally butt naked on the couch and hear the door start to open, and we start freaking out. So we go under our blanket, and we're just like both sitting there completely butt naked under the blanket, and Colby's like talking to us, and we're like, yeah, what's up, and like talking to him, and then he goes into the kitchen, and I'm like, Colby, we're naked, like you need to leave, and he was like, oh my god, like I sit on that couch, like he's like freaking out. Yeah, that was really funny, and then it was uncomfortable, but shower sex.
Oh, that's so good.
It's the best. Love it. Okay, but also I feel like when you're like too wet, it's like wet from the shower. It's like uncomfortable.
Wait. That goes back to my worst hookup is because we got out of the hot tub.
Oh.
So that like.
So you're like, because when you're just like water wet, it's like not the same as like lubricated wet. How long should sex last?
I feel like you can't really put like a number on it. It's just like how it's going, like you know what I mean, like the vibe of it.
Exactly. I feel like the best like typical is like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like for just like a typical having sex time. What do you think is the most number of like rounds you've had in a night? 4? Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like I've probably gone like something like that. Like 5, 6. I don't know.
It was like around there. Probably like 4.
All right, that wraps it up, guys. I hope everyone watching this is 18 and over.
I hope my family is not watching this.
Yeah, same. Anyways, guys, comment your best and worst hookup down below.
Yeah.
How do we end this now?
Yeah, I was like, well, now that you guys know a lot about us.
Yeah, now that we got really deep and intimate,
I hope
we're
you
thinking
enjoyed.
about starting an OnlyFans, like we've said a million times.
Yeah.
But we're actually for real this time. So.
Let us know. Well, we have weekly episodes coming to you every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
I hope this wasn't too much for you. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode. Don't forget to check out our socials down below and check out our MYLFS Podcast Instagram. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Yes. Bye.